or Cutie Pie 80, a Kiwi Cadet support. God, those names all the time.
And on the red side, it's TSM. Up top is Dyrus. In the jungle, amazing. Mid, Bjergsen, AD carry, Wild Turtle, and supporting Glebe.
And in our featured matchup, we're going to be putting the mid lane under the microscope for Shifter versus Bjergsen.
Now, these two guys are really the most two hyped mid laners coming into the season. In the spring split, TSM's plan revolved around making sure that Bjergsen got fed and letting him carry them to victory. With the new lineup, the team seems to sort of have abandoned that tactic because of the switch of junglers and their playstyles, but they really haven't found a new strategy yet for wins that's working consistently. Shifter, he was basically in a similar situation with Coast in the spring split, where he would carry his team in a lot of the wins. But now a lot of the pressure has been taken away because the other lanes from Dignitas are also putting their work in and carrying the game from time to time. It puts Dignitas in a safer position because not all of their eggs are in that one basket.
All right, as we head into Champion Select, we'll see what these teams have for each other. Champion Select today has kind of decided some games, if you look at where the picks were. And rounding out kind of Dignitas' idea of how they see games, I like what Jat said, he kind of put it into perspective, is if they're not getting any credit, they're motivated to win. When they get credit, there's no motivation because they're getting the wins and they think they're just on top. We'll see if they can find the middle ground.
Yeah, like last split, Dignitas, they went on a big streak of wins, but then they won a loss streak as well. Really, what these teams are searching for is consistency in their good play, in their strong play. So that's really what they're looking to prove this early in the new split with a new team. I mean, every team really made a lot of big changes. Dignitas seemed to be taking their changes in stride, more so than any other team so far this split.
Two very well-known players picked up and have really seemed to bolster the strength that Dignitas brings to the LCS table. You see him now at the top of the charts for 2 weeks now in the LCS as they keep trying to hold that spot. Some regular bans coming out with the Evelyn and Kha'Zix, keeping it purple across the board. And Cassidy and LeBlanc. All the purple people eaters getting knocked out this game.
Yeah, interesting Evelyn ban there against Amazing, because he really does like Lee Sin. Both junglers actually really prefer Lee Sin. They may be looking at first picking that champion away to try and get as many jungle bans onto Amazing and force him onto something like Xin Sao. It's pretty obvious that that is really what Dig is looking at. So TSM might do a last-minute switch and ban Lee Sin, but they actually don't. They let it through.
Besides the Lee Sin not being there, kind of the same bans Cloud9 did against Amazing in their first game.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. They banned them all out, and then they take away Lee Sin. Amazing has...
You know how to hit the heart.
You know, they've responded to the criticism, though. They said, you know, he's practicing other champions. He's trying to expand his champion pool. He is in the same situation, though. Those four, really everybody's valuing those four junglers. So we'll see what he does come up with this time around, if it's another Xin Sao for early game or if he actually switches it up, because there are many possibilities. Once you get these four kind of top table ones out of the way, it really opens the door.
And in a game that, last game, I believe TSM banned Shyvana and took the Lulu. Now they take the Shyvana and the Lulu. So Dyrus won't be playing the Lulu in the top lane this time. He gets back onto a top lane tanker. Jackson Ziggs.
Speaking of multiple people carrying for Dignitas, Zion Spartan has done his fair share of carrying multiple teams in the LCS with Jax. So he's very happy to take that champion into the Shyvana matchup. We'll see how they are able to manipulate the early game and feed as much early power into him as possible. Shifter again on a defensive mid lane, so strong at reacting to any sort of plan that your opponents come up with. Ziggs is just so good because he can wave clear multiple lanes at the same time. Extremely hard to push against if Dignitas do get into a tough situation.
Well, Dig, as we said before, has always been a team that loves the late game split push. However they can factor out the numbers, 1-3-1, however you want it. Put more split pushes on the team, and you're just going to get a better result. Seeing some Nami play today, already coming out of Lemon Nation. Wild Turtle hovering over that Kog'Maw from eons ago. The Volibear getting locked in the smirk on Glebe Glarbu's face. Oh, just Glebe. Who's counting?
I said it opens the door for many champions, Riv. This is one you only really expect to see when Snoopy is playing the game.
The bear.
But another European jungler bringing it over. And he just got a lot of fans in the crowd. Now, Volibear. Dignitas always trying to one-up everybody here. They're going to one-up the Volibear pick with a Poppy pick.
Did we not say that Dignitas is coming in feeling a bit of swagger here? These guys are just loving this. And hopefully they can ride their own hype train here because, you know, they've been putting the fuel in it, so more power to them.
All right, so let's talk about this Volibear pick then, because it's an extremely tanky champion.
Yep.
Right along with Shyvana, and then backed up by Lulu. They have so much beef on this TSM team. Strong team fight. However, they're going to have to make something happen early because they don't want to end up split pushing with the late game Zion Spartan Jacks versus anybody on their team. They're really going to prefer those team fights, and we'll see what Amazing can do in the early game here. Going with Ghost, Volibear can actually do very strong lane ganks. He doesn't even have to come through a river or something, especially if he goes to a lane where there's a Thresh. One of the best supports at setting up ganks. We'll see if they do focus that bottom lane and really get Wild Turtle going, because Wild Turtle has not been the recipient of a lot of attention from TSM, and they've been struggling a little bit in that bottom lane. If they could get him a good early lead on Kog'Maw, then their team fight is going to be amazing later.
I'm excited for the last game of the day. We had an explosive first game. Kind of whittled out what happened in the middle. We saw some wins and losses. Definitely not exciting, but this one, again, leading us right to the top as the teams take to the Rift. Let's head over to lolesports.com, where you've already been all day clicking on thumbs up, and you've given the vote this time in TSM's favor. 52% right there, still very close, but you can vote with each game and team fight, tweeting either hashtag DIGWin or hashtag TSMWin to @LOLesports.
That may be the closest TSM vote I have ever seen.
Yep.
Only 52%.
Look at that composition on the left side. You got a Ziggs, an Ezreal, and a Nami. I'm looking at Wild Turtle here. If he could dodge all those ultimates on the back line, then they deserve to take this game because it is going to be a hard day for him in fights.
And he is going to be the target. We talked about really beefy front line for this team. Now, if somebody does get back there to Wild Turtle, they've got Lulu, and Lulu's going to provide a lot of extra defense for him. So,
a game of safety.
We'll have to see if they can actually focus a lot of money on Turtle early and get him fed.
Dignitas has been coming out very strong. 2 coaches recently, kind of helping the different perspectives. And they were able to take down Cloud9. You kind of think to yourself, like, how many things do you need to do to take down bigger teams? Do we actually need different viewpoints, different perspectives? Maybe you do. Last game of the day here, week 2 of the North American Summer Split. Dig and TSM are on the Rift. Time to put some pressure on. The in-house vote has gone to 60% TSM. Quite a rowdy crowdy. We're going to see what these have for their favorite plays and favorite players throughout the game.
All right. Let's take a look at how they play out this early game here. Because Crumbs on Lee Sin is always looking to make some high-impact early ganks, early moves, invading jungle, trying to get vision down. But he's going up against a couple of pretty safe lanes here. Shyvana early. Will feel secure against Jax, and Lulu in the mid lane as well. Wow, dead even.
Even Stevens.
As it should be. 1 minute, 15 seconds into the game.
This is awesome. The play hopefully shows the same of what the fans think. We're going to have amazing Walton by a board here. Haven't seen Volibear in a while. Where do we kind of see him from levels? People sometimes do the W, sometimes do the E, depending on whether you want the kill damage or not. See what Amazing decides to go.
Yeah, most people for Juggle max the roar, AoE damage, and also helps you with the slow. But the W for that execute is extremely potent, actually, if you do max that first. Catches a lot of people off guard. Don't expect that much damage to come out of Volibear. The other thing that people forget about with Volibear is the passive. All the time. Pretty easy to bait people in with that one. So we'll see if Amazing can make use of it, because before that thing is popped early in the jungle, he's actually a pretty strong 1 versus 1.
I actually used to see St. Vicious play a whole heck of a lot of Volibear with great dives as well. A long time ago, St. Vicious had the most hands in the first blood, so we'll see if Amazing can have a hand in the first blood here on this game on the aggressive volley. Crumbs cleaning up his own Wraith. Zion Spartan's actually going to join him. Amazing and Dyrus entering the top side of the jungle as we get a little mirrored ring around the Rosie for buffs.
Yep, we're going to have the duo jungles. Top laners, go ahead and jungle, except that you don't get any jungle items. Good luck, my friend. They do share experience on the blue buff there because Amazing already level 2 from the first one. They are pretty far ahead here so far. Zion was a little bit late joining, but it is just going to be the standards. Side lanes 2 versus 0, not very exciting. Does isolate the mid lane for the first couple minutes. And after that 3-minute mark, both mid laners have to start worrying about 2-person ganks. So we'll see if they do get any side wards out.
Yep.
Many a mid laner have started to complain about the surprise 3 people mid.
Yep.
And they've started to play a little bit more defensively around that 3-minute mark.
TSM with something in mind already. For the push in the lane by Wild Turtle and Glebe, as you can see, I'm a Cutie Pie
and there they go for it.
Frozen it in the bottom lane. Bjergsen finding some aggression here, but he has Snoopy, or rather Amazing, to the top side. Snoop, SE, Volibear. These names are just going to pop in my head. But yeah, Cutie Pie and Kiwi Kid freezing that lane in the bottom. TSM were just on the side of the map for a 4-man gank in the top lane. We kind of see how TSM wanted to start this one differently. The CS in the favor of Turtle for pushing that lane so far.
So 2 different options here. TSM trying to shove it into the turret, get early turret damage, whereas Cutie Pie keeping that wave very close to his own territory. So they can keep it safe for a very, very long time, and he can control it as long as he wants. They have complete control over this dragon. Uh-oh, Crumbs gets flipped in.
Wow, instantly there. He gets out with the safeguard. Zion's there. They also have Cutie Pie and Kiwi Kid there. Not pushed up, so it'll take a little bit longer, but they're still there for safety.
Yeah, that was going to be a very big victory for TSM. However, they're the ones with the AD carry up top, so you can't make that same mistake again and fight these fights down by Dragon if you're the red side team who has swapped up top. So they make the right call. They don't go too aggressive, even though in that little skirmish, yes, they have the advantage. There are way more reinforcements for Dignitas, and TSM have to wait their turn.
Shifter spamming out bombs we see in the mid lane has caused the potions and mana to be depleted from Bjergsen. He's having a hard time there. Not too bad. 10 CS behind, still keeping in. Kiwi Kid and Cutie Pie just allowing this lane to always push towards them to give no advantage to Dyrus if he ever wants to come to this bottom lane.
Yeah, we'll see. A lot of teams have been taking advantage. The blue side teams with the duo lane advantage have been going for those early dragons to try and collect that extra money. Dignitas not making any moves towards that area, though. They do send their teleport up top now. Interesting to see if they will be able to get any experience on that turret, or if he's going to be forced to continue to jungle. Crumbs is not going to help him out. Or is he? Yes, he is.
Almost. Still going back and forth. Oh, hey! Not too much gonna happen from there. A quick little trade. A love tap from each side. And Zion Spartan gets himself in for the last CS. He takes some pain for it, but no pain, no gain.
Teleport in is going to afford a little bit of experience for Dyrus. That's going to leave teleport advantage in Dignitas' hands. So not only is the duo lane up top, but they also have the teleport cooldown advantage. Dig should probably be the ones to make that first move on an objective with the way that the game has started out here.
Also, all the area of effect crowd control, not crowd control, area of effect damage, I meant to say, is something that's going to come up huge. Ziggs Bomb, teleport in from Zion Spartan's Counter-Strike. Dignitas knows how to set up their vision. A little bit less than we've been usually seeing in games. They're taking it slow on this one.
Now look at this from TSM. Because the duo jungle has been gone so long, they actually send Volibear as well as Thresh making his way down towards Dragon. Since Glebe has actually stopped, though, I think they're just giving it up. And it will be Dig, making that first move for the first objective because they're blue side and got the swap.
Glebe actually just backed on a ward, which didn't help too much. Dignitas quickly hovering over this way. Nice play by them on the Dragon. Dig always wanting to get these early objectives, to get the lead, to get their favor. And you see, as soon as they wanted that, the wards set up. Perfect wards to get that offensive attack if anybody comes in.
Yeah, that's basically been the biggest part about Blue's side so far. Mid lane, pretty even there.
It is.
As it should
Great
be.
play.
Both strong farming mid laners. Battle over wave control. Everybody's starting Chalice nowadays when going up against extra magic damage. Just trying to keep control of that vision in mid lane.
Haven't seen too much movement from Amazing yet. Not really getting the lanes going or able to snowball much. You can't do much for the AD carry. They're not fighting against anybody. So it's really about the other ones. And to have Volibear in the late game fight, you're going to have to get him some good speed because everything's pretty much a walk-in. Everything's telegraphed.
Yeah, especially... Oh, I actually switched over to Flash at the last second there. Didn't hold on to Ghost.
Oh, yeah, he did.
So he will have a surprise flip in him if
right.
they need it for a team fight. Now, thing is, who's he going to flip? Because Lee Sin's very, very mobile. So is Ezreal, and so is Ziggs. He's going to have to catch somebody out off guard. He wants to really take advantage of that. However, people do underestimate the Volibear damage with his ult active.
Right.
Chain Lightnings do stack up. Over the course of a team fight,
yeah.
a lot of area of effect damage actually comes out of him.
Another thing to look at, a long time ago when we had all the long range, people would pick Lux for something as a counter to all the ganks that Volibear would do. And you look, you got Nami, you can Aqua Prison, you can use the ultimate. Amazing could be shut down if he can't get the right flash in for these engagements.
Yeah, I think this is more about farming down here in the bottom lane because there's not a lot of kill pressure on an Ezreal Nami lane. Not only is Ezreal slippy in the first place, but adding the speed boost and the slow on hit to Ezreal is basically like you're cheating your way to an early blue build Ezreal just by having a Nami support. So QtPie feels extremely confident even when faced with jungler aggression as well, even harassing under turret.
Nice little plays. Dignitas getting everything they can, denying all the experience they can as well. Slight 600 gold lead here on Team Solo Mid. Doesn't really tell anything about the game. As Turtle still farming away. QtPie and Turtle not missing much. Thumbs up to them. 80 to 85 on that free farm.
Yeah, farming will continue for a while here.
You don't say.
No moves being made to go for dives. They have been able to get Jax a little bit, but he is definitely suffering compared to Dyrus. It is in exchange for tower damage, though. Dignitas are working pretty heavily on this bottom turret, and we'll see if they can actually start to gain some map control and open up some space for them to allow more free farming.
That's really Dig's priority this season. Rushes of sight stones, sometimes they have two. Already have one before the other team, and there are wards all over the map. Clean take on the bottom turret. Dyrus kind of staying a little too long. Should be able to get out of this one. Oh no! His wings are wet. I don't know if he'll be able to fly away out of this one. Aqua Prison missing. That also speeds up your teammate. Zion Spartan choosing to walk out, though.
Got ult and flash out of Dyrus.
Yep.
Didn't quite sidestep that tidal wave. And they are going to want to shove this wave all the way into the turret. They don't want to leave it here because Dyrus would be able to freeze it pretty deeply in his territory. And Dignitas are not letting up, so it's a good call. TSM have not switched gears either. Still freezing that top lane. Not trying to answer pressure on the other side of the map.
They want to absolutely get Turtle to that late game. They're going to have that King of Carry Kog'Maw shredding people down with the Bio-Arcane Barrage. We'll see if they can feed him blue buff as well to keep the long-range poke going.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how those mid-game teamfights actually play out. Because TSM, they've got a really strong 5-man squad. However, Dignitas are extremely slippery. Everybody with a lot of mobility. And they have the ability as well to clear waves from very far away. So they don't have to fight 5-on-5s in a disadvantageous situation.
Your 1-3-1 could be a Ziggs bomb or an Ezreal True Shot Barrage coming out. They have so many options to play with. Like we mentioned before as well, the speedy slipperiness, Phage on top of Nami passive, on top of Nami speed. They got everything they need to really utilize tricky fights. No pressure here in the mid lane. Bjergsen's back. He's going to come back with a finish to Theens now. And a little bit of vision for him. TSM is bringing out the pink wards now a little bit more. We saw, I think it was maybe 8, 9 games in before Bjergsen bought his first pink ward of the spring split.
Yeah, I think pretty much the story here for TSM is going to be how well Dyrus can do, though, because he's got a great advantage
look at that.
over Zion Spartan right now, 2 levels. They really need him to punish this Jax. Keep Jax down as long as you possibly can if you're TSM, so that he does not become that split pushing threat.
Right.
So far, he's been relegated to the jungle. He's had to
Yeah.
just pick up jungle camps here and there and hasn't been able to get a lot of the lane farm. And it shows in the experience bar as well as the items that he's been able to purchase.
And that's actually a little different because you see those as opposites, right? Usually Zion Spartan's the one going hard, the one that's going to be ahead. Dyrus is the consistent laner that will teleport in to help win a fight, not lose. But now that he's ahead, can he make those moves? Can he turn on the afterburners and get a little bit more out of that play?
Wow. You can either do that or you can one-up him. And you can just say, okay, we're going to send our AD carry and support down to you every single time. Force you back out of lane. Not allow any farm to Zion Spartan. And Dyrus has had a pretty easy time in the 2 versus 1 situation.
Great map and mind games coming in from Team Solo Mid. Dragon is alive, and they take off pressure to the bottom side of Dragon, so this will help if they want to go for it after. It's just the mid lane that has to be toyed with now as they are going to set up, get the blue.
I'm stealing away the blue, though. Pretty sneaky move right there. Both top laners do have their teleports, and both have abilities to interrupt each other. So really it's going to be about who tries to pull it first and the spacing between them. If not, you know, a 4 versus 4 at this stage in the game down bottom would be all about who can land poke early, because Ziggs actually has really good zone control around the dragon, laying down minefields that can cut off an entire pathway. But the same thing is true of Thresh with his ultimate. If they can catch somebody in the box, then it's easy situation for them to keep somebody, a target in place for Turtle to actually melt.
Well, something we've seen between Glebe and Turtle is a little bit more control in that lane. Turtle's definitely one of the harder AD carries to keep in control, but Glebe, being the zookeeper that he is, able to keep things in line, juggle many things now in his new job filling shoes in Team Solo Mid, and it seems to be panning out for him a little bit better.
Yeah, pretty calm start. Maybe we'll see some action at that next Dragon fight.
Gotta be soon.
But TSM don't really need that. They don't have to force it because this discrepancy is just widening between Dyrus and Zion. Dyrus should be just zoning out Zion right now. 3 levels it's come to. And he can completely bully him so far.
Definitely makes for a tough lane. Zion trying to go a little hard here. This is going to be amazing, slowly coming in from the top side. If they are reading that Zion's going to feel like he can go aggressive, they're going to try to punish this.
Every lane that Diggs switched Zion to, TSM immediately answer with more members of the team. They switch down the AD carry and support down bottom, Zion leaves, he goes top. Then they immediately switch up the jungle up there. Now, in doing this, in keeping that Jax down, they are actually the ones trading away dragons. It's the TSM with the team fight team that are actually giving up dragons, making the opposite trade, where Dignitas are losing farm on Jax, but they're gaining these dragons, gaining this global gold.
There's somehow 0 kills in this game right now. We're almost 16 minutes in. 3 turrets overall has fallen. 2 for TSM. That one we just saw for Dig in the top lane. They start to put a little pressure on the second turret. As we said, teleports are up, so they can definitely bring the fight where they want, when they want. It looks like TSM is gaining the ground they need to set something else up. Nothing in mind right now, just a bit of farming.
And all this global gold that Dig are getting from other objectives, Zion is actually not too far behind Dyrus in gold. It's only that 400 gold difference. However, it is that experience difference. That's really, the levels mean even more than gold.
It's like stats gold. He did just pick himself up 2 more daggers, very close to finishing the Blade of the Rune King. It's not something that's going to make him any tankier, but hopefully give him another swipe of a stick during the fight. In that life. In the mid lane is Bjergsen and Glebe just setting up. Dyrus in the top. Like we said, no real fast movements from Team Solo Mid here. They don't feel like they need to pressure the lead that they have, even being down 300 gold. They have the map control and the forward wards to do whatever they want. Just want to position for it. They want to get their side cleared and feel like they're safe before they do move forward.
I feel like they should feel a little bit of pressure from Jax because they spent so much trying to keep him down. He's actually got the creep wave in the perfect spot now. And he would love to just keep it here as long as possible, especially since Dig
Even bringing it back
just took the dragon. So there's no objective down there for TSM to use to draw Zion away from this very easy source of income. They can't force anything anywhere else, so
Wow.
it's really up to Darius with some defensive warding here to try and continue to deny him. Very
Still
difficult, though.
3 levels. Also, every time this happens, we see Crumb start to walk over a little bit. He's now towards the mid, so Zion Spartan cannot continue on that counter-strike. A lot of pings going down over towards the Dragon. Dignitas bringing themselves together. We haven't really seen the AoE composition of this Dignitas fight yet. The True Shot Barrage, the Shifter, Mega Inferno Bomb. TSM is doing a very good job of keeping it spread and now allowing that to happen. Great
Clear from Bjergsen. As I was talking about too, it's interesting how TSM have sort of trended away from their older strategies of having Bjergsen on carrying mid lane champions. And once again here, they've got him actually on a support mid laner, Lulu, looking to put a lot of focus on Wild Turtle and beef up his damage instead. I think it does have a lot to do with the change in junglers, where Amazing is more carry-oriented, whereas Odd One would really look to feed his mid laners, whether it was Reggie or Bjergsen, and try and get them that lead. We'll see if it pays off here. Turtle right now is ramping up very nicely. Kog'Maw, even with Ezreal, moving towards that late game. He's already got his blade completed, so he feels a lot safer as well with the amount of dive he's going to be seeing with Jackson Lee Sin.
Turtle's no stranger to the Kog'Maw. Gotta remember, Leaf Turtle, Wild Turtle used to be mid as well. Played a crap blow to that Kog'Maw, now is an 80 carry. Still the same case, and he is hitting all the living artillery as he throws them out. Cutie Pie very hurt in that situation to have health. Looks like they're just going to keep the poke going with the wave clear that TSM has and the amount of damage they can put out quickly at a turret. It's going to be hard for Dig to take a turret without diving through it.
Yeah, you expect that in Ziggs Lulu matchups, 2 of the best wave clear mids.
Yep.
Teleport down though. TSM finally forcing something.
Diving right over. Looks like onto Cutie Pie. No red buff on their side, so it's kind of a waltz out. Good pressure though from TSM.
Well, I don't know, because like I said, this Dignitas team is very slippery, and TSM have almost no hard engage. They're really all about flanks and maybe a stray hook landing. Without any engage, as I said, Dignitas don't have to take fights that TSM are looking for. They don't have to take anything where they're missing an advantage. They've got amazing wave clear, they've got amazing mobility. They just can continue to work around TSM and buy time for Zion to get strong. They're looking to scale him up. He was able to CS under turret fairly effectively.
It's all about these little wars to win the battle, the buffs. Getting the lane control, getting the jungle control. Not really the same word. 2023 on the clock. About 1,000 gold lead in the favor of Dignitas as they are a turret down. Cutie Pie might get handled here. Shield coming out. Doesn't look like Bjergsen really wants to toy with that. Just to clean it out. Nothing crazy right now.
I think the biggest thing for Dignitas so far is how far they've been able to move up their ward line. They've definitely become, started encroaching on TSM territory. Got some good vision inside TSM jungle.
Uh-oh. I mean, just jumps and leaps. Just leapfrog to safety. Zion Spartan keeps himself safe. Has put a lot of control in guarding this top turret. Eventually, it's going to go down, but he's doing what he can.
He's just trying to grab up as every little penny he sees on the ground here.
Yeah.
He's got the lifesteal so he can sustain under that turret, and Jax is very, very strong at CSing under a turret. Easy for him to last hit at almost any health of a minion because he has so many tools to modify his auto attacks with. Really, let's see if they want to contest this. I doubt that Dignitas will actually go for this fight, even though they do have the teleport advantage, because Zion is still scaling up. They don't want to rush anything. As Dexter was saying in that interview, trade a dragon for some farm on Jax. The Jax team will be pretty happy with it.
Cutie Pie in the backside trying to get that rising spell flux passive through his Essence Flux on W, getting it through the team. They take down the turret nice and easy. Zion's been working what he can in the top lane, leap strike into minions as soon as possible, trying to get that turret down. He's going to get some help, but this could be dangerous.
Yeah, the team here from Dignitas is screening for Zion right now. They are mirroring the movements from TSM. swinging up top. The only discrepancy is that Bjergsen is not with the team. He's solo pushing here, the split pushing Lulu. Talk about her wave clear. She can actually clear waves very quickly and do a lot of damage to the turret. See if Shifter can actually just clear that out.
Mega Bomb, yep. Oh,
misses two melees though.
Oh yeah? Not what was needed, but they do help stop some damage on the turret. Looking to see some more pink wards in the hands of Dignitas. Like you said, moving that forward lineup. Once they can place the more forward pink wards, you know they are surely gaining control of that portion of the map. And they feel even more comfortable about it because they can control it. Crumb's level 11, Zion hitting up 12 just recently as he goes to continue farming. So Dig is now kind of in their relax mode before they start going once again. Looks like we're going to get some backs and buys from Dig Team.
Let's see here. TSM feel very confident going towards this late game. I would say that's fine as if they had an exhaust on their team, but they have two ignites. Both the support and the mid laner went with ignite over exhaust versus a Jax. So really, I don't know what they're going to do in the late game there when Zion starts to get fed. He is catching up. As you can see, there's a catch-up mechanic among experience. Because he was so far down, gets bonus, and he's only one level behind now.
TSM still in split push mode here. Never gathering. 24 minutes in a fight against a team that wants to crush your face with area of effect, cross the team attacks. TSM's not giving them anything to look at. Zion Spartan, Tyrus, get that last inch, get it. Finally finds his way in and out. Not going to get any damage on the turret. Ruh-roh. Bjergsen behind this one. Cutie Pie in the front side. Bjergsen's trying to tunnel in on the kill. He's pretty much got nothing else to do. Dead to rights.
Good collapse from Dignitas. Swinging around the split pusher to cut him off and assassinate him. TSM, though, do collapse on the turret, so I don't know if they'll get an objective after this.
This is a lot of control.
Damage, though.
A lot of control being shown by Dig. Team solo mid. Glebe tries to go in and make a play. He gets Shifter. Is that what they needed? Nobody can really follow up. That's the disengage from Kiwi Kid. Huge bio-arcane shots. The Living Artillery just misses. No vision on the chase. Just Bjergsen.
Turtle has Trinity Force now. He's got that constant speed boost they can rely on to chase. They don't chase it too far, though. All right, this was the circle around behind Crumbs and Kiwi Kid. Bjergsen knows he's done for at the moment. Tries to go in for more damage on Cutie.
Still that level discrepancy, 14 to 13. Zion's getting a bit bigger, though. Gold in his pocket. Let's see what he comes back to lane with. Getting a quick buy. It's only the Phage, and he puts more mana under his belt with the Crystal. Trying to get the Sheen in as well. Dyrus is going to have some free time with the turret, and his team is there as well to help. They could pinch Crumbs here and come out big.
See the Smite Wars, how they turn out this time around. Missing's got the flip, and he's got the Smite.
Got it down nice and easy. Even had the Frenzy up if he needed to spike a little bit. Dignitas backs up. Zion Spartan still farming it out. The more they have Zion Spartan farm, that means the more that it's also going to be Wild Turtle at 265 farming. He's only 20 CS under Shifter, and he's only getting bigger and bigger. Like you said, getting safety with himself, a little bit more movement speed, and we just saw how hard he was chunking Kiwi Kid. They're not going to have much time to stand in a fight.
Yeah, I mean, really, the difference is going to be two main damage sources from TSM. It's really Wild Turtle and then semi-Bjergsen, because Dyrus is going pretty much full tank here, whereas Dignitas have so many more sources of damage. Not only do they have the Jax, but Cutie Pie as well is going to bring a lot of damage to the table, and Shifter is going to cover the map in explosions. So Dig with a lot more damage to put out, but TSM has so much meat on the team. We'll see if the slow burn wins out.
A lot of HP and shields to be dealing with. Kiwi Kid's heal still helping a little bit, but obviously not going to be able to bring out all the front end burst that somebody's going to be receiving here. Zion Spartan going the safe way around, making sure he's going to have a bit of a side attack here if the fight happens. Wards are all down. The ward war begins. for the real battle. 30 seconds on Dragon, but eyes are on Baron as we reach near 30 minutes in our last game of the day. Only 1 kill on the board for the amount that these guys have been at each other's neck. That's crazy.
27 minutes, 1 kill. Fantasy teams everywhere with both these guys crying.
I just closed the laptop already in front. Not even looking. 1,000 gold in the lead for Dig. Push back into their mid lane turret. Looks like they're actually going to be able to get what they want here. No follow-up for Dyrus. They had a good idea on the flank. The
Dragon's up. Dragon's up. Let's look who's going to switch targets and change objectives over to Dragon, because the split push pressure is still there from Dignitas. TSM have the option of using their teleport Shyvana as well to answer. No vision on the Dragon, as you can see. Scary for TSM to face check this. And there it is. Ziggs blocks off an entire pathway to Dragon. Buys them the time to easily take it.
Lock that down. Seeing how everybody is on experience. Shifter very close actually to hitting level 6 for himself, or 16 for himself. And that's going to be huge. Right now, his ult combined with Ezreal's is a 1,200 damage nuke if they both hit together. It's not what you want to be taking. If you get all 5 members in, do the math times 5. Not a lot of times you'll see that much damage coming in at one time. Dire's backs looks like they're going to maybe give, is he baiting in here for amazing? No, he's not. He's not. I was just getting all excited.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the clock working against TSM here. Zion is almost able to complete his Trinity Force. Once you get that Blade plus Trinity combo, he gets real hard to deal with. And he's got his teleport available as well. Dick could continue to rely on that split push pressure.
Yep.
They haven't given up too much. Only outer ring of turrets. It's not a bad early game for them.
This is one of those times that Crumbs decides to put a Sight Stone in as well. Usually he gets a Locket of the Iron Solari or something more utility for the team in general, but the vision is what they need to continue moving forward. He's been a big proponent of that lately. Definitely helped win against Cloud9.
See if they continue to group here. As we saw with the last turret, even the Ziggs clear was not able to keep TSM off of it because of all the tankiness that TSM have built. They're fine as long as the creep wave gets close enough to the turret to take off the extra armor and magic resist. Doesn't matter if it dies, because that stays off for a while, and they can just tank up the turret shots with their very strong front line. See how Dyrus does fare against Zion, though, if this starts to turn, because there it is. The double item Jax has been completed. And he's running away.
Running away. That's definitely a bigger HP bar on this side of Dyrus. Waiting for this gank, or rather initiation from Team Solo Mid, though. I'm ready to see Dyrus or Amazing get that wild growth coming out of Bjergsen. Oh! Good place by Crumbs. They hatched that one.
And run away, Crumbs. Run away.
I found him. I found him. Definitely not going to be getting Dyrus in that situation, as he is giving Zion Spartan some hell in the bot lane.
And that's actually a really important situation we just saw, because TSM, as I said, have very little hard engage for the team. Really rely on flanking. Or if you can control vision and force Dig to come to you, then the hook is really easy to land. And Glebe can actually start off a team fight. If he gets a hook onto somebody, he can go Superman right into the middle of the team and pop up box. That would be all that Turtle needs to be able to fire away from the back line. At this point, Cogbyte has hit his artillery mode.
Yeah.
He also has his dual items, and he's working on that Last Whisper as well.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's going to go strong for him.
Whoever gets the upper hand, it's really their fight. Blade of the Rune King already used. Dyrus does have the Dragon's Descent. He's going to run it out. It's pretty dark on that side of the map for Zion Spartan. He's happy with that win.
Yeah. Dyrus stays calm. Doesn't blow any long cooldowns, just the random and slow. See if he can actually get back there in time, though, to defend turret. Zion will be pushing very quickly.
Sneak, sneak. A little bit of scared, a little bit of respect for each other, a little bit of not really having a plan right now. Seems like both teams are just feeling out what is the best decision.
I have to say, Rib, this is one of the most relaxing games we've ever had. It is going to get worse for Dyrus, though, in those trades.
Yeah.
The graphs for Shyvana and Jack scaling deviate a little bit as we surpass 30 minutes. We'll have to see next time if Zion's got some vision backing, how aggressive he decides to go. Dyrus is actually working on a Blade of the Ruin King, though, to try and answer here. He does need a little bit of threat. As I said, two DPS sources has really not worked out for that many teams. It's much harder to work around if you only have 2 threats. It was one of the big things CLG last year were struggling with. They decided, moving more towards 3-threat teams helped them out a lot. See if TSM can actually pull off the old style here, though.
Cutie Pie on a long roam here. That would have been a great fight for Team Solo Mid. They have not been able to get forward ward coverage, though, so not much knowledge of where Cutie Pie is. Now he's going to be joining with the team towards Baron. This is finally going to be a little bit of pressure. Got to watch it, though. The spread is definitely causing a little bit of unwanted damage.
They really aren't even messing around here, though. They've got nobody defending this Jack split push. So TSM, their decision needs to be made right now. Time is definitely working against them. Zion gets closer and closer to your base. You have to make something happen. Leave goes for it.
True shot barrage for Vision. That's one of those big nuke ults down. Kiwi Kid getting hit. We see some of the Randuins going off as the fight now ensues. We're going to be getting some kills 33 minutes in. It misses. Glebe already goes down with Kiwi Kid. The supports are out of the fight. It's all about the brute force on the front line now, and it looks like everybody's going to back off after that.
Glebe trying to be the hero after the teleport was already burned. TSM had just got a pretty big win there. They got 1 kill for nothing and teleport burned, but Glebe goes a little too far. Flashes in for it, doesn't get anything. Now it's a Baron fight. Can they go for the steal?
Good vision. Living Artillery is going to help keep an eye on Shifter. We've seen Shifter get quadra kills in this kind of situation. That first one goes to Cutie Pie. Wild Turtle's right out in the open. He's got to be very careful. That Living Artillery just misses. Cutie Pie in the back of the pit. He can shift over the wall. Dyrus has to flash. It's Turtle. It's Shifter. And it's not going to be a kill. Oh, he misses. There's the bomb. He's got to try to duck and cover on that one. Dyrus is going to come around for help. What a do-si-do on the Baron pit between Dig and TSM.
Turtle comes up huge for the team.
Wow, no way.
Not only is he able to put out enough damage just as Kog'Maw from the backline, but he also takes the Baron himself. All right, so Mason goes in, they get Zion so low. 1 more artillery doesn't land for them, but they take out the jungler here, and that frees it up. It's a free-for-all now. Turtle actually able to grab it. Cutie Pie has to bail out, but Dyrus doesn't let him live. And it's a pretty big sweep there for TSM around the Baron pit. And remember, that all started off because TSM had vision control around Baron. Dignitas Nightmare. No vision on Baron. They get too close. Glebe actually hit the first guy with a flay to start it all off. Excuse me. And started that whole fight.
Man, it really, you think you know how the book ends, and then when Dig does Baron, it's like a choose-your-own-adventure book. It really goes anywhere. Got 300 gold lead now for Team Solo Mid. 35 minutes on the clock. Coming into this, with the start of the season, Dignitas's picks with the team mentality were on the up and up. TSM's replacements were kind of the unknown commodity. So Dignitas comes in here, like we said, with a bit of swagger, with a bit of knowledge. Sometimes they push themselves into these sticky situations, and the other team finds a way in and under the skin.
Seems to be the knowledge they are usually lacking is the vision around Baron. And it did bite them one more time. TSM took such a huge advantage after that, though.
Oh, yeah.
Baron buff as well as Dragon. However, look at the score line here. It's only 4-3, and it's tied up on gold. So,
wow.
See if they can take anything.
Good burst of damage there. Cutie Pie getting the slow on as well. Nice job. Kiwi Kid giving the support that he needs. TSM not needing that free damage to ever happen. Right now, everything has to be at 110% if you want to get into that base. Dignitas really trying to stave off this Baron right now. They're doing a good job so far.
And you can see as well how easily Cutie Pie was able to control Amazing. Even full tank Volibear was getting melted through by a matter of seconds there by Cutie Pie and slowed down at the same time. So if Dignitas can fight on even ground here, if they actually have vision of the entire battlefield, then they are freed up to make use of this mobility and make those plays.
Got a few kills on the board. Both teams have seen recent damage that's going to be coming out in the fight, so they have a feel for what the limits are and how far they can push themselves. Right now, Wild Turtle is pedal to the metal as he loves to be. He is in super aggressive mode. Tanking turrets, front line. All right, let's go. I got a shield.
Ooh, we've seen this before though. Shifter, almost 400 farm Ziggs, got his Lichbane as
Elixir,
well.
Yep.
Adding in the Elixir, he's got a lot of damage to dish out.
TSM would really like this win. Recent vlogs of Dyrus, you can see there's a bit of saltiness that TSM portrayed in that.
To be, they've got a reason to be frustrated.
Right.
They're
right.
used to winning all the time. They made a lot of changes,
yeah,
and they're trying to adjust.
Adjustments right now. Bring him to the bottom lane. Baron's down. The map is objective free. And it looks like they're going to be able to work down this bottom turret here. Good clear on the wave. That wave clear from both sides is pretty much just continuously turning the hourglass on this game.
All right, well, Zion continues to farm, so Dignitas is still happy. More money on Jax. He's only got 3 main completed items. He's still got a ways to go. He would love to have a Zephyr, get more attack speed as well as the tenacity. If he's free to auto attack at this stage, it's already such a big win for Dignitas. As long as they can keep him freed up, dealing damage, then they'll have a pretty high chance of success. Really, the problem has been Turtle gets the free attack from the back line in that last team fight. With no pressure on Turtle, that late game Kog'Maw artillery is really paying off for them.
Man, 2 games today, Kobe, that have gone near 60,000 gold and have been near completely even. Summer Split caliber of play is definitely even out in the Summer Split.
The thing is, when we go to super late game, I always give the advantage to the damage team, the team with more damage, because late game you have penetration. It's all about positioning, using CC, and who actually gets the first hit. If we go super late with this, I do kind of have to give an edge to Dignitas, even though TSM have that Kog'Maw to rely on, which is great for the late game. There's so many more sources of damage from Dig.
Yeah.
I feel like they just have more options than TSM. Here's an option though, TSM.
Oh, he gets kicked in the jaw right away from the flip. Nothing for amazing there, and Dignitas quickly assessing the situation and saying, warning, let's get out of this one.
Pretty scary, but they didn't even have to blow the teleport.
No.
Very quick kick there.
They only used 1 flash on that. 1 flash and then Dragon. Dragon's kick, you're good to go. Look at where they leave TSM though. Leave is low. Amazing is low. They leave TSM wanting to run for cover, and the Thresh Express. What? Zion Spartan somehow is on the back line already. Turtle misses out on the Sonic Wave from Crumbs, but it looks like the Wild Growth will keep him saved. Oh my gosh, everybody's just dodging stuff out right now.
What a tease. 40 seconds on both Baron and Dragon. Turret goes down.
Good way to put it.
See if Dignitas can actually get the highest objective on their list. Vision around Baron, leading up to Baron. They're going to try and clear out those TSM wards and put some down of their own. They really do need it.
This is getting tense. Both teams are going to have to grit their teeth as they force each other into what could be a final Baron attempt. You see the average times right there on your screen. We're looking to get past that real quick. TSM, they know that Dig's not there. They don't have too many forward wards, but it looks like they may try to do something crazy.
Jax going bottom. They would have to wait for a full teleport channel if Zion's going to actually join this. Dignitas a couple of seconds too late.
There it's going to be Crumbs on the outside.
Teleport comes in though. They want
Baron
to do it.
down to 3,000. No, 4,900. Still going. They actually go off of Baron. The fight is now going to happen. Living artillery onto Zion, so they do have a good amount of vision. A nice pop-up. Shifter gets a 4-man satchel. The bomb's going through. Zion and the team trying to turn this one around. Still looking for some of the ultimates. It's going to be Dyrus getting hit up for the damage as well. 3 members, 4 members down. Bjergsen is running, bleeding for home. And it could be Dig picking up the second Baron at 42 minutes.
And that's why you give the edge to the team with the damage. Great disengage from Dignitas, and then
look at that smile on their faces. Good lord.
Great re-engage after a Shifter ultimate, able to chunk out all of Dignitas. Teleport in. This is good disengage here. They get away from the box completely. And then all of TSM are scrambling right now. They're able to collapse Kiwi Kid from the top side with a great tidal wave and Aqua Prison right onto Turtle. That's the problem with only 2 damage sources for a team.
Yeah.
If Turtle goes down, they crumble.
Wow, they're already on the top turret too. Dignitas is not holding off on this one. They're going hard for probably another inhibitor. 5 seconds is the least of their worries right now. Actually, I should say most of their worries. And they're gonna go ahead and be able to get out in time, on time. Uh-oh, Crumbs, he only has the sweeper. No more consumables
he went back
left.
to kick.
Wait a minute, wait, nope. Wait, could he get a kill here? No, I was gonna say, it's a lot of damage he put out. 3 people to take down Crumbs. Zion Spartan, whoa, Dyrus using the teleport to get behind the team. Can Bjergsen actually give him what they need? Wild growth on the Dyrus, but it was still miscommunicated. Dyrus was out, Bjergsen wanted in. Bjergsen's out of mana right now, and they are still chasing this fight, trying to keep the back from happening. Maybe they can get something out of this on the end.
Who got that red buff? Did it go to Turtle? Oh, okay, that's a pretty big
Yeah.
fight there for TSM. They were able to chase him off the red buff. They really do need that on Turtle. More important, though, is buying time. Wow, must have been a snipe.
That shot is through.
His ulti is halfway on cooldown. That was just Cutie Pie going in with regular auto attacks and
Quick
Qs.
Q. Locked down a kill. They have good ward coverage over there. Let's see how it happened.
He just hopped in there for it.
Nice. Played the little triangle portion of the wall so he could slice the pie.
Look at Kiwi Kid bluffing. I love plays like this. Him all by himself, just Nami, chases off 2 members of TSM because there's no vision. That's the importance of wards. Even Kiwi Kid all by himself.
Oh, they're afraid of the haircut.
Floundering around. Yeah, he's able to scare off Amazing and Turtle. They run away with the legs.
All right. 72 to 64,000. Dignitas finally pulling away with quite a gold lead. The kills finally stacking up on both sides as well. More so Dignitas after that huge fight. Like I said, it's a choose your own adventure at Baron. They got the one on that one. And 73 going on 74,000 now. They look to go around the horn, pressure the last inhibitor turret.
They're all just grouping up for this one. There's no time to mess around with split pushing either. Double super creep minion waves pushing in. They don't have to rush anything. They have Ziggs. Trying to initiate at this as a Shyvana Volibear team through Ziggs is very, very frustrating. They have to have somebody on the back side. They have to flank around. There's almost no option for TSM to go straight up the middle here. Through Nami and Ziggs, there's very little that they can do charging at this TSM or at this Dignitas team.
You got Cutie Pie doing so much damage. His eyes are really and the only one who's able to hit the turret right now. This is all just a flex of the muscles by Dignitas, and they're easily able to do it with that Baron still ticking.
Only a matter of time now. 3rd inhibitor goes down.
Yep. Walking that one in. Minions are already coming into the base. This looks like it could be the game. Dignitas, with their lineup changes, have been coming out very strong and showing that these changes are true to form for what they need coming into the summer split here, Kobe.
Pretty happy with this one. Dig taking on all challengers. Crumbs was very confident coming into this one, and it has actually paid off.
Look at the scatter here. Cutie Pie still the only one in the bottom turret. He tries to go hard, pulls out the wild growth. Dig recalculates the fight. They're going to keep it on the outside, and they're going to get one Nexus turret for themselves, maybe. Cutie Pie's going in for the extra hit on it. He gets it. It goes down, and they're still working with a plethora of minions just bashing through the front door. This does not look good for Team Solo Mid.
There it is. Amazing flashes in.
Cutie Pie gets hit up. He gets to the backside. A lot of summoner heals going off. He is in perfect positioning. Essence Flux is the team, and it looks like they are actually going to have to back up on this one. Shifter returning fire with satchels and bombs bouncing around.
TSM have an inhibitor up. They've defended one.
Yep. This is tough for them, though. It's going to be very hard to stop the bleeding on this one because Dignitas is not giving up.
And there it goes.
It goes up, it goes down. Still, this is that point in time when you just feel like you can take on the world, and it can get dangerous. Dignitas has to realize that you do eventually run out of resources. It looks like they've realized that, even a little bit full of resource, so it's good they're keeping in mind. They can still get the win. They don't have to push themselves into a scary situation.
TSM versus the Minions.
Yeah. This is deja vu for them almost. Not a base race, but they do not want to lose to those Minions. They know what that feels like. Bjergsen clearing out the mid lane as they get ward coverage on their side of the map, somewhere they really haven't even been for the past 3 or 4 minutes with Dignitas, as I said, going around to each inhibitor, getting what they want out of it. 9-4, so practically no kills came out of everything we just saw. It was just a heck of a lot of back and forth, and with that, you can see that Dig still moving forward without kills.
And that has been the entire story of this game. Dignitas, they pick the Jax, they get, yeah, it was TSM did a good job keeping him down early, but Dig played the waiting game. They got him caught up, and they've hit that power point.
Wow.
It's just too much for TSM to overcome.
Big damage coming from Shifter right now. He's throwing out 759 ability power bombs, or what hit people in the face right now. It looks like they're going to be going for a little bit of damage. Amazing. Zooming by on his bear claws. Looks like he won't be getting a flip in this time as they move in for the inhibitor. 48 minutes on the clock. 10,000 is the gold that it just hit. So it's going to be 10,000 gold worth of damage you're taking to the face. Dig's coming at you with. Minions inside. Dyrus doing what he can to burn these out with Wild Turtle. They got the team to take down Super Minions if you really need one. The percentage damage coming on to the Super Minions now looking good. The ultimate is actually quite dodged out here. And Dig really thinking this one through. Wild Growth going on to Amazing. He gets kicked back, taken down. TSM is getting whittled down and running for solace on their own fountain. The Nexus is down to half. Smiles on the face of Dignitas, and they take down Team Solomid at 48-50.
What an arduous game for all parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dignitas. It's according to plan for them, though. Able to wait, bide their time until they can wield the full power of that Jax.
Both teams kind of having a factor in what would happen in the late game. They took their chances against going late game on a COG monk.
Yeah. And TSM made a good play, controlling vision around Baron. They forced Dig to come to them, which was one of the biggest weaknesses of that TSM team was the lack of engage. But because of that vision control, they forced Dig into it, and they got a pretty good mid-game boost there.
Yeah.
But they weren't able to translate that into anything substantial for the team. And eventually, Dignitas just waited out.
Showing versatility as well when they were pressured. You see the Ezreal and the Nami coming out to take down one of the top teams. Also coming into this one, Amazing was pushed onto a jungler out of his comfort zone again. Didn't have an impact, 0-3-3 on the game.
Yeah, that Volibear not too spectacular.
But that's what teams have been finding, is they can kind of direct what they want at the subs that TSM has brought on, those unknown commodities.
Definitely paid off here. I mean, he got going pretty fast with the Lulu speed buff at the end.
Yeah.
But if you're ever a Volibear or a Shyvana without your flash, trying to get through so much disengage, the Nami and
it's not saying it's Amazing's fault. I kind of made that sound like Amazing didn't play well. It's hard to flip, like you said, an Ezreal or whatever. So Dig again in Champion Select, and a lot of today, I feel like a broken record saying this.
I like their draft
games
phase, though.
were won out of Champion.
Yeah, good draft phase from Dignitas. And then they just played to their strengths as well. Everybody's talking about win conditions now. Really, they're just goals based on what champions you have. What are the goals for your team? What are the scenarios where your champions have the advantage? And Dignitas found them. They got the late game Jax. It took them a while, but they played it well. Defensively, they guarded Zion. They were able to babysit him.
As much trouble as he had.
They gave up some dragons for it. They made sacrifices for him, and he paid them back in full.
Dignitas is definitely, as I said, a team coming into this game with the mentality of the players that they had. We see Team Solomid trying to reorganize what they did, and it's still a little turmoil for them. Great win by Dignitas. Right now, we're going to send it down to Jat on the winner's side of the Rift.
Thank you, Riv. And I'm, of course, joined by Kiwi Kid, who was just on Nami. And when I congratulated you for the win on the stage, you kind of shook your head. Why were you so hesitant on the victory here?
Personally, I don't like those kinds of games, and we definitely put Zion in the poverty program that game. We didn't have any really decisive early game calls with the lanes, and we actually had the perfect bottom lane freeze at the level 1 where, yeah, if you watch, you know how you can do it. And, well, they didn't get the freeze top because they were helping out Red Leash, and in that case, like, we can get the free EXP top. Like, I could have, like, even backed and we could have sent Zion top, but instead, we lost, like, so many free waves.
So even with the 2-0 week, obviously, you guys still kind of thinking about things you could be doing better?
Oh, yeah, of course. There's always stuff to work on, like, even SKT1. And that being said, of course, if they have stuff to work on, man, that just says a lot about what we have to work on. And, like, just understanding the game right now is probably the most important. I think all of our players, all of our players are, like, very mechanically sound, I'd like to think. And so in that case, we just need, like, you know, the decisive decisions and, you know, synergistic calls. And just, you know, like I was bringing it back to the point of understanding the game a lot better.
And maybe even the team compositions. It seemed like in that game, no matter try again, TSM could not initiate on you guys. Did you see that early on in Champ Select to make your team composition?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And they didn't have that well of a good engage, so that's why we opted for, like, Nami over Zyra. Because Nami, you can actually play offensively more. Zyra is almost completely disengaged. Of course, you can be offensive with E and, like, with Flash, but with Nami, especially with Ezreal, you can, you know, be on the aggressive, and then, like, you can bait them into, like, oh, we're getting slowed, we're getting chunked, we need to turn this with volley, and then in that case, I'm Nami ult, but yeah.
Well, final question. Looking towards next week, you got EG and CLG. What are your first impressions on those teams?
And all of our teams, we just see as like this. We just see as, like, you know, we always treat every opponent just as good as C9. Like, they're really good, and we never take any team for granted.
Very slightly different words than what Crumbs was saying the other day, but I'll take it. Thank you very much, Kiwi Kid. Congratulations on your victory, and let's send it back to the guys at the desk to close out the day.
Thank you very much, Jat. And we are minutes away from the North American Challenger Series. But first, let's check out how the teams stack up in the LCS after another week of action. Taking sole possession of first place is Team Dignitas.
Then one game back, it's a tie for second between Cloud9, CLG, and LMQ. They're followed by TSM in fifth with an even 3-3 score.
That's right. And then in sixth, it's Curse with Complexity and Evil Geniuses sharing last. A lot of great plays this week, but there were a few players who stood out, and here now is your OP5. In the top lane, it's going to be Zion Spartan. He's shown himself to be a constant bully in the top lane. He pulled out an Aurelia pick against LMQ and roamed all over the map. With his big plays, he helped Dig claim first place.
OP in the jungle is Crumbs. His support jungle role has helped his lanes get early leads, and he's been blanketing the map with vision.
Next, it's High in the mid lane. After a rough start to the split, Cloud9 is looking like they're nearly back to form. A lot of credit has to be given to High for his leadership and shot calling.
And our OP AD carry is Sneaky. Corki hasn't been a hotly contested pick, but he made it work with great effect and was instrumental in Cloud9's exciting win over LMQ.
That he was, and setting them up for the rest of his team to knock him down is the Mad Cow Aframu. His amazing Alistar play with Link was a highlight for the week and helped his team go 2-0 for the week, so good on him. But in the end, one player stole the spotlight. Our Week 2 MVP is Aframu.
Not only did he make huge plays on Alistar, but he turned in a great game on Morgana as well. He died only once this week, but net 15 assists for his team. You don't see many supports making the kind of flashy plays that people have come to expect from Aframu every time he steps onto the ridge. It's really why many do consider him to be the best support in North America now, Rick.
It is true. It's a good point. The initiations from the support, unless you're a Leona, you don't see it much, and it's always great to see that somebody's...
Yeah. He's super versatile. He also makes so many calls for the rest of his team. He's really an all-around amazing player.
It's always good to have one. Well, that's going to do it for the LCS this week, but we'll be back starting on Thursday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time, 5:30 Central European Summer Time, with a fresh edition of the LCS Preview Show. Tune in for comprehensive breakdowns and all the up-to-the-minute news that fits the print.
Then the European LCS gets underway with the battle between Alliance versus Roccat, followed by SK Gaming taking on Millennium.
Then the North American LCS returns on Saturday with Team Solo Mid challenging LMQ.